Hey, welcome to the Breaking Hyman podcast. My guest is Angel Lorenzana.
What up? Let me talk into the mic and let me
get comfortable, man. We're
Is there a way I could put this up a little bit?
Yeah, sure, why not? I don't
know. I don't want to fuck
That's
with this.
good right there.
You know, this is good. You know, because I was watching the episode that we released yesterday. And so
with Chrissy?
Yeah, and I'm doing exactly what I noticed. Because you ever look back at your at your stand-up and you see like, oh man, like I'm kind of like stuttering, or I should have thought about what I was going to say before I said that, or I should have spoke clearly into the mic.
The funny thing is, how many podcast episodes have y'all recorded so far?
That's what I'm worried about. Like
15 or 20?
Like 50, like around 15.
So you'll start watching them and realize shit that you should have realized if you'd been releasing them from the beginning.
Yeah.
It's fine though. It's fine, dude. They look great.
It's cool.
The podcast looks fucking, you know, like you guys are spending money to get it produced.
Oh, I'm getting paid. They're paying us to do it. A lot of money.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Holy shit. So
I'm like...
Wait, are you like on AYG Network or fucking YMH or?
It's called the. No, I'm just kidding. No,
fucking lie. Tell people that you're making money off the podcast.
No, I'm not saying that I'm not making money off of it. They're paying us a lot of money.
I'm making a lot of money too. I'm getting pussy. I'm fucking getting bottle service for free at strip clubs. It's crazy the shit podcasters get. It's insane. And I also work a full-time job too. Oh Christ, man! So promote your podcast because you just dropped the first episode yesterday.
Yeah, it's on YouTube and it's called Taco Sandwich, and it's me and Rafa, the homie Rafa, and
I. And it started out Haley was on it, but he is kind of backed off. But he was on quite a few episodes as well, right?
Yeah, Haley he was Newman. On like the first 5 or 6, maybe.
Okay.
I kind of he's I forgot how like. Kind of funny he is.
Oh, Haley's great.
Haley, he was good. Like, he was good on it. Yeah.
Haley and me started comedy the same week. I think he'd done a little bit. Like his wife has a theater background and stuff. Okay. But he started stand up at the same time I did. Like I started at Cafe J on a Tuesday, and I think his first mic in Lubbock was like on a Wednesday. The following night at Lantern.
Yeah. Okay.
Love Haley. Haley's great dude. One of the best. Lubbock comedy people, just as a human being. No, if anybody said anything bad about Haley Newman, I would fight them. I would fight them if they said shit.
Am
about
I still
Haley.
Okay? I want to like.
Well, I mean, if they were like Haley killed a guy, here's the tape, and I was like, that's a deep fake, and they probably had it coming if it wasn't. Yeah, you just get comfortable, man. I don't.
Wait, do you have a tissue or something? I forgot to ask you as soon as I came in. If you have a tissue or something.
I do not.
I think I'll be good. I'm fine.
I mean,
it's gonna be okay.
You got sleeves.
Yeah. I think it's more of like
you're still in frame, right?
Yeah, I think I am. Pretty sure.
Cool. Yeah. It's
so I just woke up a little while ago, and I'm still like kind of calibrating.
Oh no, I got you.
Yeah.
Well, we should. What time you got to go to work? Like in a couple hours.
I go in at 3, but as long as I get out of here I'm pretty sure I'll be out of here by 2. So
yeah. We'll be done by then. We'll be done.
But yeah, man, what do you want to talk about? What's going on, bro?
Well, first for starters, fuck Crawdaddies in Lubbock at 82nd and Slide. I have been in that bar twice, and both experiences were bad. Okay. Let me start with last night, because last night was the most egregious. I carry one of these things around. It's a little vape pen. Not all bars have the same policy. Like some places are like no smoking, vaping. But if it's no smoking, I'm not going to fucking light up a cigarette. I don't smoke cigarettes. But a lot of places have tolerance for this, right? Like I do these at Lantern. Yeah. There wasn't a sign that says no vaping, nothing. So I hit it. I go, I'm with my buddy Bryce, and he's like, the waitress just gave you the stink eye when you hit that. I'm like, whatever, fuck her. I didn't say that to where she could hear. So Bryce was up singing karaoke, and I hit it. I'm not doing it like I'm not blowing it in the waitress's face, but I hit it, and she like walks over to me very like she's like, you don't need to do that shit in here. You go outside if you're gonna do that. You can't smoke in here. And I didn't even exhale. I walked because I was close to the door. I exhaled the door. I came back in. I said, you could have asked nicely the first time. And she's like, I'll get your check. And I'm like, all right, you want to fucking do that, bitch? Cunt. Crawdaddies. But the first time I was in there, I was doing karaoke, and there was a big table of people, like all like between the ages of like 30 and 60. And it was a lot of them. And like, I know they're not all family because they're drinking and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm in the middle of a verse and I'm like, hey, give it up for the swingers over here, just as a joke.
Oh, okay. That was that.
They got so mad at me and were threatening violence. They're like, some guy's like, I'm gonna whoop your ass and all this shit. The fucking manager went over to me, not to the people who are threatening violence, to me, and said, they're a little drunk, blah, blah, blah. And another lady came over who wasn't even there when I said it, but she was friends with those people. And she's like, did you say we're all swingers? I'm like, I was just making a joke, ma'am. I'm just having fun. And she's like, well, I think you should leave. And I'm like, all right. Some dude came over, put his hand on my shoulder. I thought he was cool. And he's like, go back to comedy school or some dumb bullshit like that. Like a dumb fuckhead will say when they can't think of anything better. Like, dude, I don't think you're actually fucking that guy's wife unless you actually are. And they probably are because they got so mad about it.
Yeah, they probably,
but I recognized a couple
there probably
of them.
was some kind of truth there.
Oh, 100% there was truth there. Yeah. And next time I'm nutting in one of those guys' wives' mouths, I'm going to remind them. Fucking assholes. I hate that. Yeah. I am, you know me, I'm not an easily riled person.
No,
I'm pretty even keeled.
Yeah.
But when people fuck with me, like, I like to fuck around and be funny and shit. That's cool. When you're starting violence or fucking being an asshole, ask me nicely. I won't hit my vape pen again if you ask me nicely. But man. Yeah, so taco sandwich. What was the origins of that? Like the podcast. It's like you and Rafa, and were y'all just kind of talking about it, getting a project?
This was a couple months ago, right? And we're hanging out at Crawdaddy's, and we're vaping, and they're okay with it. Completely
You're
okay
hanging out with a bunch of swingers.
Yeah, we're all swinging and the actual Craw Daddy was there. He was crawling all over the place.
Well, it's a guy. His name is Craw, and he's a daddy. It has nothing to do with fucking shellfish.
Yeah. And then it was very fishy. I don't know. Wait, okay, so.
That was so fucking funny, dude.
I just left the handprint on this table.
It's fine. It's cold outside.
Okay, so Rafa and I. Okay, this was like last year in November or
y'all started
October.
late last year.
Yeah, October. Rafa approached me and said, asked me if he pretty much asked me like, what's your life situation? Like, are you married?
What's your life situation, bro?
Like,
are you married? Are you fucking a bitch or a boy?
Yeah, but he pretty
Rafa, friend of the podcast and friend to everyone.
He kind of wanted to make sure that I pretty much like
had the time
and the money to like to stay consistent with it.
That's good. Rafa's smart.
And then and I believe because it was him and Haley's idea, and then I think Haley almost backed out at the beginning, or he wasn't sure.
Yeah.
And then...
Well, I had talked about doing a podcast with Haley at one point. It just never really got off the ground, you know. I actually recorded a podcast at his house with Ricky.
Okay.
Like, he wasn't home at the time. Haley was in Asia, but we were house sitting. It was when I was living with my mom. I was house sitting for him, and I invited Ricky over, and we recorded a podcast in his kitchen. It was an audio only. Me and Ricky had a podcast for about 5 minutes.
Yeah. I remember Haley asked Ricky if he wanted to be on our podcast one day, and I kind of like respected his answer. He was like, "What? It's just a podcast with local comedians interviewing other local comedians." He's like, "How original, dude!"
Ricky.
I was like, "I guess that's a no."
Ricky's a low key dick,
but that was kind of like I wasn't offended by that at all. No. I was like, "Haley, I respect that."
You respect that?
Yeah,
you fuck cool with Red Bar, you know?
Yeah, like that was like a Red Bar ish move right there.
No, Ricky's cool, and I think he was maybe a little bit. I called Ricky a dick. He's my friend, whatever. He knows. But I think he was just a little bit disillusioned because me and him did a podcast last year, and it didn't really. But I mean, it's just about time and commitment and fucking, you know, being on the same page. That's why I basically am doing this podcast by myself now.
Yeah,
it was me and Lori, and then I had that other chick on there. I can't remember what her name was at all. I don't remember her even remotely. It's not like me and her dated or anything, and I was really fucked up about it for several months.
No, my bad. So do you do your podcast like on a set schedule, or you do it whenever you kind of Like, if you don't feel like doing it, do you ever just sometimes just not do it? Or
No, I try and have an episode ready to release every Monday.
Gotcha.
I'm generally recording on the weekends. I'm coming down here to the studio. Shout out Snake Pit Studios, Rattlesnake Roy. But yeah, and we release an episode every Monday. So I'm trying to get a couple banks because Roy's going to be out of the country for a little bit. He's actually going to go kill the Pope. I don't know if you heard about that. Like they call in like these young
Pope not. Yeah.
Do what?
No, you're good.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he's going to Italy and he's just going to choke out the Pope. If he's not dead by the time Roy gets there, he's just going to like fucking put a pillow over his face, go, because they got to bring somebody in from out of town to do that.
He's going to steal his mitre crown?
No. He's not going to get involved in the conclave or anything. He's just going to fucking kill the Pope and then come back. Probably have a few beers, maybe a couple Peronis. Maybe drink a Negroni while he's over there. I'm just saying the name of Italian drinks.
I was like, whoa. That's my favorite.
Yeah. But yeah, we do have a set schedule. Did you guys get on a schedule now that you're going to be releasing?
Kind of what I was about to say is that, like,
talking podcasts with Angel here.
It'd be cool to have it like pretty much like what that Red Bar guy does.
Yeah.
His thing is like, well, he only goes live or doesn't films like once or twice a month, sometimes 3 if we're lucky. But
no relation to Brian Red Bar, not affiliated with Brian Red Band.
But what I think is pretty cool is that like he says this, he was like, man, all these podcasters have to like are on like on a set schedule and they have to go in on days that they don't want to be there sometimes. He's like, I do my stuff when I feel like it, when I feel like I want to say something, when I'm in the mood.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that's pretty cool. But then again,
you have a real job
it's
and
different.
Shit too.
Yeah, but like that's like a different point of view of it. And I don't have my own studio that I could like
that is true.
Access to whenever I want.
Yeah, that is true. That would be nice. I would love to have my own podcast studio. Like fucking what's his name? Tom Segura, you know, he just wakes his wife up and he's like, "Come on, fucking bitch, let's record some shit." I'm gonna call you. I wonder if his producers and stuff just like live at his house because they record at his house. His studio is at his
Austin.
In his
I think
mansion
they're
in Austin.
Okay.
Yeah, dude. I would love if I ever got to that level at having my own place with a podcast studio. That would be so cool.
Just having like a studio for multiple purposes would be cool for like music and podcasting.
Like if is this the first time you've been on a Snake Pit Studio podcast?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're all recorded here. He sets this up different. I mean, we don't really talk about that, but yeah, it's
everyone has like their own different setup.
Yeah, it's different setup. I use a green screen here, like you can see breaking Hyman, but to us, this is a green screen. Hey, the illusion is broken.
Yeah, let me.
And it kind of looks shitty
inside the shop.
Yeah. Get comfy, man. Oh shit, I didn't even start the clock. I think we started recording about 15 minutes ago. Hey, Sandwich, text me. Shout out Sandwich. But people watch
Sandwich
this.
Tell you.
I don't know. I didn't look at the podcast or to the podcast. I didn't look at the text yet.
Well, let us continue.
Let's talk a little bit about Kill Tony. We won't talk so much about my DMT trip because I've talked about that on a couple podcasts already.
Okay.
Another reason to check out Taco Sandwich. I was on an episode. It'll probably come out in the next year or two. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we're gonna start releasing like hopefully two episodes a week until we kind of catch up. Still have
check these guys out. They're funny as fuck.
But yeah, so
you guys have had really interesting guests too, by the way. No cap.
You know what? It's kind of it's cool because Rafa is known pretty well in Lubbock.
Rafa is a known quantity in Lubbock.
Yeah, so he pulls a lot of weight with getting guests. Mm-hmm. And there's been a couple times too where I know that like I can't remember with who, but then there's been like 1 or 2 times where I'm like, Rafa, we should get this person. Like, you go ask them. So, because if I ask them, I don't know if they're going to say
you can reach out to me too, because I can put a bug in people's ear because I've got this. I mean, this is going to be 20. I mean, I'm close to 25 episodes on video.
So, my bad. 25 episodes on video. Okay.
Yeah, I did about 13 because you were on the audio only podcast when you and the Devil Woman were in my living room. Mm-hmm. She's not the devil. She just broke my heart, man. I talk about it way too much, but I get stoned and I get in my feels. So
yeah. You know what I was kind of thinking about earlier when I was kind of on my way here.
Yeah,
I've because when did you get that surgery done?
I got the surgery a little
You've talked
over
about that a
6
lot,
months
right?
ago. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I've got, all my material is about it right now.
So I think I've known you longer as Skinny Morgan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you went to Austin to kill Tony with Skinny Morgan.
Yeah.
So if I'd have gotten the bucket pull, I would have looked good up on stage.
Because when I first, because I seen because you lost a lot of weight, man. I didn't realize that because I didn't really know you that well until like after you had the surgery.
Well, you had like there was like a long break. Like you came to Lubbock, you did a couple open mics, and then we didn't see you again. It's like when a new kid shows up at school and they're like, I don't know, is this kid gonna stick around? That happens in Lubbock comedy all the time. But then you started coming around more once you got a little bit more established, got your job and stuff, got a residence. And yeah, I'm glad you're part of the scene here.
Yeah, thanks, man. And yeah, it's kind of actually pretty fucking cool because
Me losing weight? Sorry.
No, well, I mean, you kind of changed this subject. But,
I did.
But,
I try and bring it back to you, but
no, you're good.
I'm bad at talking about myself.
No, you're good. Lubbock's a good place to kind of just chill and reset your life if you want to do that or if you need to do that.
Right, yeah. If you ever need to move here from California and just kind of, you got out of rehab and you're like, I need to get my head on straight.
I wonder if
Come to Lubbock.
I wonder if people that were part of like the Palisades like fires in LA, people that just lost their house, I wonder if there's a few people or a good amount of people that were just like, fuck it, I'm moving to Texas.
Yeah. Dude, well, think about how many comics from California do comedy in Lubbock. You, Tanner, Curtis, Ricky, Josh lived in California for a little while. Mm-hmm. There are you're the most recent California, but Tanner came here for college. Ricky's family moved here when he was in high school. Curtis kind of had this back and forth thing since he was a kid because his mom married a dude from Texas.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, man. California, what was it like growing up there?
What was it like growing up in California?
Because you're like from the Los Angeles area, Baldwin Park, right?
Yeah, but I'm from Baldwin Park, and that's like it's like you could refer to it as the San Gabriel Valley,
okay,
which is pretty much like a combination of a bunch of cities.
Yeah.
Or the LA County, which is pretty much the same thing.
So how far are you from like I went to your house in Baldwin Park and I was like, Angel, take me to the Hollywood sign. How far are we?
It would probably take less than an hour to get there.
Less than an hour.
Yeah.
That's amazing. How far are you from the beach?
Probably the same deal. Probably
Really?
for everything, like Mountains Beach and Mountains Beach, and what else did you say?
Yeah, yeah, just the Hollywood sign, fucking
stuff like that. Pretty much,
the Sharon Tate house where Charlie Manson killed everybody, you know. But how far are you from the very first In-N-Out burger?
The very first In-N-Out burger. I know why you're bringing that up because you already know that one. But I'm gonna say this. So In-N-Out, the very first In-N-Out in the world was in Baldwin Park. And that's where I'm from. And
In-N-Out better than Whataburger.
It is better than Whataburger.
Fight me. I'm from Texas. I know the truth.
But I was talking to this couple at a bar the other day.
Yeah.
And we were pretty much saying that they're two different ball games.
They are.
Like
they are.
And I'm not like saying this to hate on Whataburger, but like all of their stuff is just mostly frozen. You know what I mean? I don't know about their patties, but the fries, and I'm pretty sure all this.
Oh yeah, no,
everything.
And it is fine for what
and that's
it is.
cool. I eat like I eat the fuck out of frozen food.
It's like I suck trans pussy. I have to call it a pussy. It's really a dick. But
I have no idea how that analogy works. I think that was just a confession.
Every analogy goes back to trans shit for me because I'm curious, man. I'm curious.
But yeah, so In-N-Out is fresh. All their shit's fresh. Whataburgers, is just that's like straight up fast food. Like Whataburger straight up fast food
style.
In-N-Out is old school style fast food. Because they still do it the same way that they did pretty much the way they started.
Okay, so I'm going to clip this. This is going to be a clip. Tell me about all of the hidden menu on Whataburger. If you can do it within like 30.
You mean the hidden menu for
secret menu?
Oh, the secret menu.
Tell me about the secret menu from In-N-Out Burger.
Okay, so the secret menu from In-N-Out Burger, it's actually kind of wild because you could do a lot of. You could make a. Fuck, you might want to start the clip over.
Okay.
If you're going to do the clip for the podcast, it's fine. Just leave it in.
You know what? I love to edit around and shit. But so tell me about the menu. Because everybody knows about Animal Style. Everybody knows Animal Style because that's like they're Animal Style at other places too that have kind of ripped it off. I've been to other restaurants that have like
they'll call it
Animal
like
Style.
Monster Fries or something like that.
No, they literally have a place called Yellow City Street Food. Shout out YCSF, one of the best restaurants in Amarillo. They have animal fries, but they put like this sauce on it, like a remoulade sauce, fucking chopped up, diced grilled onions and bacon bits, and it's the titties. It's like their own
good.
spin.
Yeah.
If we ever go do comedy in Amarillo, me and you will go there. Yellow City Street Food.
That sounds cool.
Scott and Ren own it. I've been going there since they were a food stand, and now they're like, yeah, they've been on TV, they've been on the Travel Channel and stuff, but they're fucking good as fuck.
Okay.
Secret menu In-N-Out.
Yeah, so the secret menu at In-N-Out, I'm pretty familiar with it, and there's a lot of things you could do when it comes to like the burgers, your fries, even the shakes. For the shakes, they have like three different flavors. They have chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. And one of the secret menu items is called Neapolitan shake.
I haven't done it.
Yeah, where you could get all three flavors mixed, or you could just do a combination of two, like if you want to customize it.
So if you're a guy like me that likes to fuck black women, you say, I want the swirl.
So yeah, you could do that with the shakes. Yeah, you can mix the flavors. For the burgers, you could do something called mustard fried.
I didn't know about this until you told me in Austin.
Well, if you ask, because there's you mentioned the animal style fries, but there's also the animal style burger.
Animal style burger, yeah. A little bit different.
Which is pretty much like, I think they put extra pickles and they have has grilled onions on it, and
then the melted cheese too, right?
The cheese, yeah. And then I'm not sure. It's kind of like this. It's almost the same deal as the animal style fries, just the burger instead of the fries.
Yeah.
And then
it's great.
And then for the fries, you could just get like cheese fries if you want to. You could get a grilled cheese if you want a grilled cheese.
Yeah. You can add extra patties. Like there was a motherfucker, I think they did like 100 patties one time.
I think they actually don't. I don't think they're allowed to go over a certain amount.
I think they limited it to 5. I think I read recently, because they do it's a real thin patty, but it's so fucking good.
Yeah,
so good.
I used to go. Oh, you know what? Because remember when we tried it in Austin, I wanted to kind of like put it to the test because I hear a lot of people say that it doesn't taste the same in Texas. It tasted exactly the same to me.
I have had it both. I've only had California In-N-Out once with my ex-wife. We were in Ghirardelli Square or the Pier 39 or whatever in San Francisco, and that's the first time. And I didn't know about any of the secret menu. I just knew In-N-Out was the tits. This is in 2008, so we're talking 17 years ago.
Okay.
And there's a picture of me going like, that my fucking ex-wife took. We went to the fucking Golden Gate Bridge. Dude, fucking, nice. I'd fuck with California. I wouldn't want to live in San Francisco now. I used to want to live there. LA, I've got friends in LA that like it. I mean, I don't know how it's been for them since it burned up, but I texted him. Abe, shout out Abe, former guest of the podcast. Abe Parr.
Wait, what part of LA does he live?
He's in LA. He's LA ass LA. I think. I'll send you the episode. He's I don't know if you met him. The Indian guy. His dad is. I think I watched some of it. Yeah, well, he was here at Christmas time. Like he did the episode with me like right before we went to Austin. So
nice.
Yeah, Gorillas, man. Shout out Gorillas. I say that shit too much. I talk like a fucking child.
No, you're good. I bought the you know what, the shirt is kind of like I don't think it's like an official Gorillas merch.
Oh, most of my merch is not. I mean, if you get it on Amazon or something.
But I've never seen anybody with it, and I got it at this place called Frank & Sons in California, and it's pretty cool. This place is cool because it's like a flea market for like old school video games, and then they have like comic books and old school toys and stuff like that. So it was a
little bit like that store we went into in Austin, but they didn't have the video games.
Well, yeah,
but it was probably way better.
But it's into like in a big. Well, it used to be like a Costco or like a Walmart or something.
Oh damn!
And then when that closed down, I guess they bought the warehouse.
Me and you need to plan a trip where we go to LA.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah. Whenever you can take some time off work.
Well, I'm supposed to go next month.
Oh shit, are you flying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I want to drive out there because I want to hit the Grand Canyon on the way because I've never seen the Grand Canyon.
I haven't either.
And I want to do a mic in Phoenix. I want to do mics on the way. I want to like spend a night I'm going to be going to Las Vegas in
November?
October.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's going to be like a couple weeks before the Skankfest.
Yeah, because I'm going to try to go to Skankfest this year.
Dude, I hope you get to go. I hope you get to go. Yeah, fucking maybe see RJ there. Dude, he hit me up and said, dude, you should come to the fucking Nashville. He's going to go to the Nashville Kill Tony.
Okay, that big event. Okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to be I think the biggest Kill Tony. I think it's going to be bigger than the one we were at.
Oh, yeah. I think it's like 10,000 seats or something like that. Yeah, I think so.
Because it was like 8,500 we were at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, as a comic, you did stand up in California.
I started doing
because you met a dude in rehab that's like, I do stand up. That's the short story, right?
Yeah, well, he wasn't that like enthusiastic about it.
Okay, but
it was like, and it wasn't even. But I like this too because it wasn't even. He never even told me, hey man, you should try to do it. Yeah. He wasn't like an advocate. He wasn't like trying to get people.
Stand-ups, I would not recruit somebody to do stand up unless I thought they were really funny.
Yeah.
You're funny now in conversation, knowing you're a stand-up. I can't see you as being very funny in conversation before stand-up because you're kind of quiet. But maybe you were. Were you?
You got to get to like, for me, I guess I could be like kind of quiet, I guess, or like I could come off as shy or whatever. But when I do like actually click with people, like I get like.
Like earlier when you said, we were at Crawdaddy's. You fucking made me laugh so fucking hard, dude.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm fucking getting lost in that.
No, I know.
I hope. Man, this is pretty cool. Like,
I'm bad at making people go off track too, especially you.
No. I forgot what I was going to try to say.
We were talking about how you got into stand-up.
Oh, okay.
And you met the dude in rehab.
Okay.
That's what I was asking, basically.
Yeah. So I was friends with, even from the whole time that we were in treatment, I didn't even think about trying to do open mics or whatever. But yeah, so I was in treatment. I met that dude.
Was that the first time you were in rehab or the second time? Because you were in twice, right?
This might have been like the second time.
Okay.
So pretty much like I met him. That was like the first like actual stand-up comedian that I ever met. And you know what I mean? Before you actually get into it, I could imagine like, because for me, it's like, who the fuck does stand-up comedy in real life? You know what I mean? Not like.
Well, you weren't like a big fan of stand-up at the time, were you?
No, I wasn't.
Yeah. So it's just like kind of one of those things where it doesn't seem like a real job.
Yeah.
Was this guy an open micer or was he?
No, he was like when I met him, I think he was like 7 years in or so. Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
But like this is pretty much what happened. So he told me about fuck, dude. Could you like edit shit? Because I'm like fucking retarded right now.
No, you're fine. You're fine. We're real free here.
Okay. So pretty much there's a show called Midnight Gospel on Netflix.
Yeah.
And the guy who made it his name is Duncan Trussell.
Duncan Trussell. Shout out Duncan Trussell.
Okay, now I remember what happened. So
was that a good Trussell?
Yeah, that was all right.
Okay, thank you.
So now I remember what happened. So I watched the show Midnight Gospel and I really liked it, and I think I posted something on my story about it.
Okay.
And he's seen it and he was like, "Hey man, I really like that show. One of my favorite comedians actually created that show."
Oh, okay.
And his name is Duncan Trussell.
Yeah.
And he was telling me that pretty much because the show's a really good, like animated, trippy, psychedelic show.
It's the same dude who animated Adventure Time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I forget what the dude's name is. Pinkerton Jackoff or some shit like that. It's something like that.
Yeah. And then Cliff was telling me that a lot of the audio for the show is just they got audio from his podcast and put it on.
Yeah.
Just put a bunch of
Duncan
animation
Trussell so I'll maybe cut to the chase a little bit. Duncan Trussell's a very psychedelic, druggy guy. Was that kind of why you got into listening to Duncan Trussell and stuff, and then finding out about stand-up through that avenue?
So I seen the show, and then my friend was like, he pretty much told me that, hey, like the guy who made that show is one of my favorite comedians.
Okay.
And then I was like, that's pretty cool. And he told me about how he puts a lot of his audio over the podcast, and just puts all that weird animation over it, and that's the show.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic.
And then I guess I went on YouTube and I was like, okay, I want to hear more about Duncan Trussell. So I looked him up on YouTube, and the first thing that came up was the first thing that came up with him was him on an episode of Kill Tony.
Okay.
And then that was the first thing I watched.
Oh wow.
And so
wow.
And then I went
Crazy.
down the fucking the YouTube
rabbit
hole of
yeah.
Kill Tony.
You found the iceberg.
Yeah, and then what made me want to do it wasn't like me thinking that I'm funny.
Yeah.
It was me thinking that I might suck a little bit less than these people. Yeah.
You're like, these motherfuckers are trash.
Yeah, I could not be as trash as these people.
Yeah, because Kill Tony is a good jumping off point, because the Red Bar talks about this. The entry point of getting into stand-up is so low. The bar is so low for stand-up comedy. You just have to think of one funny thing. Like, I love stand-up. And it was something I couldn't tell you how I decided, because it is something I had thought about doing. People have told me. I was at an open mic. People said, you should go up at this open mic. Like, the woman who booked the shows, like, you're funny. You should go up at this. And this was in Austin in 2017. I was with my best friend and my ex-wife and this chick I was trying to fuck. And I can't remember what her name was. I met her on Tinder while I was in Austin. But this woman, Brett's friend, who was like a record producer. I think I didn't even tell you this. She like fucking like produced or did some shit with like Jimmy Eat World and stuff. Like, she was big in the music industry. She pissed somebody off and basically got blacklisted from the music industry. So she moved to Austin and started booking the Spider Room comedy show.
Okay.
So it was like improv comedy, stand up. I don't know how much stuff is there, but I went to a show there, and there was it was kind of an improv comedy game thing that where do you know the game King of Cups?
Is the drinking game?
Yeah.
King's Cup?
King's Cup. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
King's Cup.
Yeah,
They
I
all
know
had
that
a
game,
drink,
yeah.
and there was a thing in the middle, and it was an improv game. So that they would pull a card, or the host would be like, okay, you have to do a rap about this subject or something, or you have to do an impression of this. And if they didn't get it or they couldn't do it, they had to pour some or in the cup, and then somebody had to take a drink out of the cup. So it was like they were all getting fucked up, and it was a comedy show, and it was fun as fuck, and they would get the audience in on it.
Yeah.
And but there was an open mic happening afterwards, and she's like, you should go up. You'd be awesome. You're from Lubbock. You're weird. Like, you would have something to say, like, that these people aren't used to. I'm like, I didn't want to do it, because if the chick I wanted to fuck hadn't been there, I probably would have done it. But I just didn't want to look like an asshole in front of her, and I didn't know what was going to happen. So I'm like, I probably would have gotten laid if I'd gotten up there. Nice. She didn't know that my wife was.
So that was when you almost did stand-up comedy for the first time.
Almost did stand-up comedy for the first time, but I'd thought about it before. I like was into like Patton Oswalt, David Cross, I watched stand-up comedy on Comedy Central like growing up as a kid. Like, I just loved the shit.
Before I thought about doing stand-up open mic comedy, I think the comedians I did like or were aware of was what's his name? Mitch Hedberg. I always thought Mitch Hedberg was like...
Mitch Hedberg is the GOAT.
And like, that's me like outside of like the comedy world, like not even knowing about mics or anything.
He was famous enough that you knew him.
Yeah, and I thought he was hilarious because he has like that stoner like one-liner vibe, which is pretty cool.
I'm gonna try and so many Hedberg jokes are my favorite jokes. He's like, I think you should only get 3 horn honks a month. Somebody cuts you off in traffic and you're like, shit, I wish I hadn't seen Ricky on the sidewalk that day. Like, I would memorize his bits and do his inflection and stuff. I would even do that with like Patton Oswalt, you know. Oh, you like Star Wars, eh? You get to see Darth Vader as a little kid, you know. I loved it, but it was like me, you know, playing another band's song as a cover. It's different when you're writing your own songs. Yeah. So that's what's been so hard for me, because I've been listening to music since I was a tiny kid, and I figured out how to write songs after I learned to play guitar. You can't take stand-up comedy lessons. No matter what they tell you. You can, but nobody knows the secret that's going to work for you. Everybody's process is different. I video myself and I edit edit my jokes. I'm like, I like the way I told it that time. And I've been doing this almost 3 years, and I've just kind of gotten to the point where I can figure out my process.
Nice.
You've been doing this, what, a year and a half?
Like almost 2, I think.
Almost 2 years, yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing. I really have no idea what I'm doing.
No, nobody does. No. Okay, when you were playing in bands.
I need to, like, realistically, like, because I know it from, like, the outside world. It's funny to say that. I don't know, that sounds weird. But, like, to people who like aren't into comedy that know me or whatever. Yeah. I feel like it's a little bit, it's somewhat embarrassing. It puts a little bit of pressure on me because.
To talk about it?
Yeah, or for people to know because.
It's because you're a faggot.
It's like my. It's because it's like my thing that I'm trying to do, you know, and I'm trying to get funny over time. And
you were in bands, right? Did you talk about making music with your friends?
I don't know, but that was so long ago. We were just really high and thought we were cool. That's pretty much it.
Comedy's kind of cool, dude. Comedy's kind of cool.
Yeah, well,
you can talk about it with
like
your
what
friends.
I'm saying is that like I actually need to write more because if I'm like. Because I don't want to be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You know what I mean? I don't want to half-ass it.
Dude, you want to know what we should do? Tuesday nights. There's not an open mic on Tuesday nights. I want to get an open mic going on Tuesday nights. Yeah. We should all have a writers.
Sunday? Saturday?
Today's Saturday. Okay. But I know you're off work on Tuesday nights. Yeah. Tuesdays and Wednesdays are your nights off. Fucking let's make a workshop where we all write together and do bits on Tuesday nights just for each other. Because a lot of times the open mics are just comics anyway. And enough of us are free on Tuesday nights that I think we could start out small, get 3 or 4 of us, and just kind of grow from there.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
That sounds cool.
Because
we should just all meet up at Crawdaddy's, actually.
Let's just meet up at Crawdaddy's. We're going to meet at Crawdaddy's, and we're going to vape and fucking call people swingers, you cunt.
You vapist.
You vapist.
Well, that's crazy. That's pretty much what she called you. You got kicked out.
I didn't get kicked out. I was just like, be nice to me. And she's like, I'll get your check because I'm not gonna. That's basically how it went down. So a friend of mine told me that they're real conservative over there. The owners are super conservative. And I'm like, oh, well, fuck them then. Because if you're gonna, if you are a known, I shouldn't know what your politics are if you're a fucking business owner.
No. At all. I don't want to know.
At all. Seriously, you could be killing Palestinians, and as long as I don't know about it,
if you make a good burger,
I'll fucking eat the shit out of your hummus. Sorry,
dude. There's this place called Flavor Hive in I think they're in like close to New Jersey or something like that.
Have you been to New Jersey?
No, I've never been there. Oh. But you know, like when you're scrolling through shit on the internet and you just, for some reason, there's always like these food places that look good. They're always like states away. But this place, I was like, what? And I just kept looking at the videos and I followed them. But I guess it's damn, I can't even, it's halal food.
Halal?
Yeah. So what is that like?
So that's like the Muslim.
Is that Egyptian or
no? Halal is a Muslim way of like if you kosher is to Jewish as halal is to a Muslim, and that's probably an oversimplification. Yeah. But it's basically a certain way of killing the animal. Yeah, so like beef or chicken. Muslims don't eat pork.
So you said it's a way of killing the animal. So I didn't know if this was true or not because the person that told me about this, he's kind of questionable. Okay, but he was saying that what it is that they kill them where they don't feel the pain. Like they'll like with something really sharp like slit like their throat and just let them bleed out without them knowing that
is true
because they don't suffer. And supposedly, that is true. And I don't know.
My coworker, friend and coworker Nathan, his wife is Muslim. He lived in Turkey for a long time, and I think he's like fucking killed a goat or something at a ceremonial. It's just a Muslim thing.
And then, and I don't know if it's out of consideration for the animal, but I've also heard that it might.
It's out of consideration for their dumb religious bullshit.
And then when the animal doesn't like suffer some kind of shock, I don't know if that kind of like if somebody said like their muscles, like their meat, they kind of like tense up. Yeah. So it kind of changes the texture.
Yeah, no. That's why like with the knocking gun, like in a slaughterhouse, they fucking have this gun that he just puts a bolt in their head. So they just come around the corner and they're like, what's going on, guys? And they go, and then they're dead immediately. Yeah. And then they just grab it, cut its head off, it's like so quick. Yeah. It's so quick. I've seen it done. And people like Derek, that are my friend, I love Derek, that is super sensitive to him. I'm just like, yeah, that's where meat comes from. I don't fucking care. It's and I mean, there is probably some suffering in it, but the slaughter industry is just like any industry is very imperfect, but you're dealing with human animal or not human animals. You're dealing with sentient animals. So.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so the place is called Flavor Hive, right? And they have this thing called bring your own bag of chips for $10. They'll put so they have 3 different meats, which is like the beef and chicken, and then I want to say gyro. Yeah. And then so like they'll put so they open the bag of chips sideways, and they'll throw in like the meat, whatever kind of meats you want. Out of those 3,
I could bring a full ass bag of nacho cheese Doritos.
Yeah,
take about half of them out and be like, put all this meat in here.
Yeah, and then so they'll put the meat, they'll put like the shredded cheese, they'll put like some veggies on it.
My dick's getting hard right now.
And then they'll have like this white garlic sauce that they'll spread on there, and then they have like this spicy green sauce, and I love spicy, so that just all together.
Clearly,
just looks
you're Mexican.
Yeah, it looks, man. I really want to try that place. I would literally travel just to try.
Let's go to New Jersey and do stand up. Let's do some mics there, dude.
I want to go to New York and try out the
I was there. Before I did stand up. It was less than a year before I started doing stand up. I saw stand up at the Cellar.
Nice.
And Broadway Comedy Club, where my friend Valeria Volpe performs. She is from Moldova, but she, I believe, lives in New York.
Oh, wait.
I've talked to you about her.
What's her name again?
Valeria Volpe.
From where?
From Moldova. you were like, that sounds like a James Bond villain. That sounds like a character from Austin Powers. The spy who fingered my butthole.
Dude, that was a funny, like,
she looks like she would be in that movie too. She could get some big fake titties. It'd be so hilarious. Oh my god, her accent would be the best. Oh my god, I'm gonna tag her. This is a clip. This is a clip.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
Valeria Volpe's vulva.
From where?
From her vagina. From Moldova.
Yeah, but I can't even talk. We were watching some of her stand up that night too.
We were watching her stand up
because man, we were so blitzed that night. And then when you told me her name, I was like, no way, that's her real name. From where? And I was like, man, that is cool as fuck.
In Soviet Russia, vagina fucks you. It's a former Soviet country. It's so crazy. I love her. And her friend Rob from Australia.
Yeah.
They were seriously like cartoon characters. I was hanging out with cartoon characters.
That's crazy. If I was like really on some type of psychedelic hanging out with them,
dude, I was
would
smoking weed. I didn't do any mushrooms that weekend. My friend, shout out Trent Ludzak of the Trent Ludzak's Unnamed podcast. He's a comic. He's from Minnesota, but he lives in Atlanta now. Mm-hmm. He's been doing stand-up. He got out of the military and started doing stand-up. He's like if Chris Heist was an autistic hippie in like 30. Chris Heist is kind of...
He's an autistic hippie who's in his 40s?
This guy's vibe is very Hedberg. He's great dude, early 30s. But he got out of the military and started doing stand-up. But I think he's done it in like Atlanta, El Paso, and maybe like Minneapolis or something. He said every time you move to a new city, it's like starting over. He's like, it sucks. He's like, you're as good as you were, but you have to establish yourself in the scene. And yeah. So he's got friends, mutual friends with me in El Paso. But he was on mushrooms. We were watching another comic, and I'm like, good set earlier, Trent, because he's fucking funny as shit. He can go clean. He can go. He doesn't swear in his act, but he's very druggy and shit. But I leaned over to him. I was like, good set earlier. He's like, my mushrooms just kicked in, dude. And I'm like, cool. I wish you would have shared. Comedy festivals are so cool just for hanging out with comics. Like if you have like $500 to spend on a hotel and food and drinks and want to perform for some other comics and some local people, do a fucking small comedy festival. You'll meet people like Valeria Volpe and Trent Ludzak.
Nice.
And fucking shout out, fucking, goddamn, what's Tim's last name? dude I shared a room with. Yeah. It was great. We should do a comedy festival sometime.
I've never been to a comedy festival before. I don't even never even.
This is the first one I ever went to. I was part of.
Nice.
Matt Farrell, former guest. He was on the audio podcast, but yeah, dude. I think we're probably maybe going to about another 10 minutes or so.
But, all right. I'm not rushing or like.
No, I know.
10 minutes is fine.
That's
perfect.
I just talk too much.
No,
we were talking about Valeria Volpe.
No. I was trying to. Okay, earlier you asked me what was it like growing up in California. I don't think I answered that question.
Yeah, because you were close to the shit.
Yeah, so there's like the whole like LA culture for sure. You know what I mean? But like the way I grew up I'm not like from LA, and so we were outside of it. So we kind of, I want to say, like the cities around LA kind of like idolize like the vibe, and you know what I mean?
Of course. Well, it's like growing up in New Jersey, like in fucking Hoboken, being right next to New York City.
Yeah,
it's like everybody there loves that shit. That's the big place.
Yeah, so Baldwin Park is more suburban, I would say. Yeah, which means kind of like it's kind of away from the big city.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, y'all have normal houses and shit.
Yeah, and but yeah, like as a kid, like I was skateboarding at one point, and then I played the bass guitar. Yeah. And then I remember telling you this too, and you were like, man, you're just like a typical Californian, because I told you like I've been in a punk band. Yeah. I was like freestyle battling,
but that's
rapping.
I love that.
And like I did like, even though I sucked at it, I did a little bit of graffiti.
Yeah. Well, if I told you like, okay, here's the thing, like I grew up like going to church every Sunday. Fucking my grandpa was like a cowboy and broke horses. My my grandpa owned like a gas station. Fucking like, these are like, oh yeah, you're kind of like a typical Texas dude or whatever. Those are like oil. Yeah. Fucking, it's just the things around us shape us, the culture there. And fucking, you were just a kid growing up trying to find your identity, and that's how a lot of people found their identity, because you weren't like into sports and shit or whatever. Yeah. And I know my cadence, and even like my how do I say this, like the slang terms I use even changed from when I was like a teenager, because I thought I was like cool as fuck, and I thought I was talking to our mutual friend last night. Shout out Audrey. I don't know but she was just saying like, yeah, she's like, Angel's cool because he's just like this like California beaner or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, that's not giving him enough credit. Like, I don't think she knew how to quite articulate. But I mean, I'm like, no, that's a lot of credit right there. Yeah, yeah. She's like, yeah, we vibed and stuff. Like we like, yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, cool, yeah. Like, yeah, because I know y'all hung out something, and I'm like, that's cool. I like it when people that can realize like, oh yeah, that's why that person's my friend, why I like them or whatever. And that's like a gay way of saying that shit, but But yeah, California, growing up there. So what was your band called? The Queefing Cunts. That's what we were called. Queefy? The Queefing. Queefing. Yeah. This whole time I've been saying queefy. Queefy cunts. That's still pretty funny. That sounds, I like, because like these cunts, they're real queefy. They're a little bit queefy, yeah. Queefing no, it's cunts the act of actual. Cool. It's not like now they might. These cunts are definitely queefing. Yeah, they might be. They might not be. Schrodinger's queef. Yeah, we played a couple of backyard punk shows. Did you write your own songs? The guitar I made I think I made almost all the guitar riffs. So you weren't covering like Ramones? No. We did like one cover from like the Germs, I think. Nice. So you guys, you were all you're punk. You're a true punk rock dude. Like, because the way you're like, oh fuck this comedy bullshit. This is dumb. I respect Ricky for saying fuck my podcast. That's kind of your vibe. Yeah, for sure. That's cool. Yeah. I like the cross section of like Mexican punk rock, because that is a thing that LA, like, what's Pat Smear's real name? Isn't that dude like Mexican? I don't know. Pat Smear was in the Germs. Oh, and now he's in the Foo Fighters. He played with Nirvana. What does he play? What did he play in the Germs? Oh, he's a guitar. I don't know. I'm not as familiar with the Germs as the Foo Fighters and his time with Nirvana and Foo Fighters. That's when I'm not as deep into the LA punk scene. Honestly, I like the Minutemen. I fuck with the Minutemen. Dude, you have to come with me to see Mike Watt from the Minutemen here in a couple weeks. Well, it took me a while to realize that I wasn't as when it comes to music, I wasn't as punk as I thought it was. Because after I kind of that phase kind of faded out,
I was like, wait, what punk bands do I actually like? And there's only like a handful.
Well, which ones?
Because a lot of it actually kind of sounds the same. There's a band called Subhumans that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's a band called Lower Class Brats, and those are two different styles. And there's a band called Rudimentary Peni also, and that's a whole different style on its own too.
Dude, I'll play you some like Minutemen. We should have done this when we were on that road trip together. We'll do another trip together.
Yeah, I'm down.
And fucking go see some stand up. Go fucking watch some stand up. Maybe go see a concert.
Yeah, man.
Dude, so
I miss going to shows.
How long was your skateboard career?
I think it was on and off for a while.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring it. This is gonna come full circle here in just a second.
Okay,
because we're talking about your childhood growing up in LA, LA adjacent.
Well, yeah.
Where was the first open mic you did?
The first open mic I did was in Covina, and that's like pretty much right next door to Baldwin Park. City next door.
People that are familiar with the LA area, they've heard of Covina.
Yeah,
I think that's a name. Baldwin Park is not a name that people necessarily recognize as like, oh, that's part of LA necessarily. I do now because I know you, but I like fucking know like Palisades, Laurel Canyon, fucking all these places that are close to LA, like the San Fernando Valley. Fucking isn't Anaheim's like a little further out, right? That's like Orange County.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, it's just like listening to like knowing No Doubt, knowing the fucking the Minutemen were from San Pedro.
Oh, there's so much music that came from
so much music
LA
from the LA.
area. Yeah.
I mean, Green Day were like Berkeley, right?
Yeah.
That's northern, right?
I remember being a kid too. Like as I got a little bit older, I realized like, man, I'm like right next, like right in the middle of every all this
it's
big stuff going on in entertainment. And I was like, man, not everybody goes.
That's why everybody in Lubbock is like, oh, Buddy Holly, oh, Deep Throat, Buddy Holly. And Buddy Holly's great. He's great. That's the biggest thing that came from here. And he's like influenced the Beatles. But that's why everybody's about. But I mean, there's a lot of fucking great artists from here that aren't as famous, like Joe Ely, like Amanda Shires, comic book artists, Alex, I can't fucking remember his name. There's cool shit from Lubbock, but there's so much big cool shit from you. People live in LA. That's where the entertainment industry is: music, movies, pornography.
Yeah. So I didn't realize for a while. Like I was like, oh shit, like this. It's great. It's supposed to be a big deal, I guess.
It is. Yeah, well, it's being that close to it. Well, and you talked about how like I was like, it's kind of weird that you're from Los Angeles area and your name is Angel.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like
Tell the story.
What's the story?
You said your
no, I just made that up. I wasn't sure.
Oh, that was funny.
It was kind of like a joke. Like I was like, because my dad, I'm pretty sure he was probably like on drugs. He's been sober for a long time.
Yeah, your dad got deported for a while.
Yeah, I don't know what. I don't remember what. Probably something illegal. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you asked me how I ended up being named Angel,
I was like, is your mom real Catholic?
Well, the hospital I was born in is called the Los Angeles Women's Hospital. And so I was in LA. I was actually physically born, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, how did I just be named Angel? And then my mom probably like asked my dad, what do you want to name him? And he probably looked, I don't know, seen something like it says Los Angeles probably everywhere. You know what I mean? It
says Angel.
Yeah.
It's like, have you seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure? Like, where's my bike? It's in the Alamo. She sees Alamo rental car, and then she sees something bargain basement prices in the basement of the Alamo. It's like your dad's that like a fucking idiot.
Or like when you're trying to make up like in the movies when people are trying to make up a fake name.
My name is Peter Griffin. Peter Griffin.
Yeah.
Oh Christ. So that's fucking cool, dude. I love that. So you skateboarded for a little while. Were you good at it?
I knew a couple tricks.
Ollie?
The way I skate is weird because, usually you pedal with your strong leg. Well, the leg that you're gonna pedal with is usually the leg that you kick with if you play soccer.
What do they call switch foot or something like that?
Yes, but for me, I don't.
That's where the band got the name.
So the leg that I kick with isn't the leg that I pedal with. I pedal with my left, but if I'm gonna kick something, I'm gonna go over with my right.
Yeah.
But the foot you pedal with is supposed to be the same foot you pop.
Did you ever surf?
No,
No, you weren't close enough to the beach to do that shit.
Well, yeah, I could have, but it just wasn't like I didn't. Nobody I knew or none of my cousins, nobody I knew.
That's
like
so
did it.
interesting because I watched this TV show Insecure that takes place in LA, but it's the actress Issa Rae, fucking hot as shit, dude. You know who Issa Rae is?
No,
she's like a comedic actress. She like did these. She's you probably seen some. She was in this movie with Kumail Nanjiani called Lovebirds. You know who Kumail is, stand up and actor and stuff. Mm-hmm. Fuck. Okay, he's a Pakistani. He's really funny. His stand up's really good. He's about to release a new special. I think it's his first special he's done in like over 10 years. But he had a podcast with his wife and shit. But I'm actually honestly surprised you don't know who he is.
I don't know who a lot of people are.
It's cool though.
When it comes to like entertainment.
So Issa Rae, there was this TV show Insecure, and her friend she's like, girl, you're from Inglewood. You never even been to the beach. And I'm like, shit, I never even thought about that. Like if you grew up like in the ghetto or like further from, like was your area Baldwin Park predominantly Mexican?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And we weren't by the beach, but like sure, it's like a less than an hour drive.
Not that far.
Yeah.
But like I had a friend that lived in Orlando and he was about 45 minutes from the beach and I went and visited him and he didn't take us to the fucking beach. And I was pissed. I was like, dude, you're only 45 minutes from the beach. He's like, that's a long way on the interstate. I'm like, bitch, I flew here. I love Brandon. Shout out Brandon. I've been friends with that guy since I was in high school. I need to go see him sometime. Fucking do stand up in Orlando. I've got friends all over America, dude. Brando from Orlando. Yeah, and his wife Ashley. She's cool. Yeah, haven't seen them in about a year. Typical LA dude. Angel Lorenzana.
Don't say that, man. No, I'm just kidding.
I know. I'm
not from LA. I'm from Baldwin Park.
You need to lean into that shit because that's what makes you different. Being an LA comic in Lubbock makes you weird. And I would write material. Lean into it, man.
All right. I'll try.
I fucking lean into like things about me. Like I had this surgery. I lost all this weight. I'm a fucking asshole. Like the things that make us unique set us apart or what makes us funny. Speaking of setting apart.
I like that.
Speaking of setting apart, this is the Breaking Hyman podcast, as you clearly know, as a guest, two-time guest. You were on the old version.
Sir.
How'd you break your hymen, dude? How'd you lose
How did I break my hymen?
Yeah, how'd you lose your... That's how girls lose their virginity, supposedly, breaking their hymen. How'd you lose your virginity? How old were you? Who was it? You don't have to give me any of the details.
I think I was like 13 or 14.
Damn!
And it was my cousin's best friend. And
I thought you were going to say cousin. I'm like, yes! Juice! Spill that tea. Your cousin's best friend. Was she about the same age?
Yeah. She was pretty much the same age. And nice, I think... but I was like... pretty stupid as a teenager, like when it came to girls.
You lost your virginity a long time before I did. But I mean, when you fucked that time, how often were you fucking after that? Because that's pretty young.
The girl that I lost my virginity to, I don't even think we were like officially together because she lived the same city that my cousin lived.
But you fucked her more than once?
No, it was just the one time.
Oh damn.
Yeah, and then that was it. And she was just like some horny freaking teenage girl, and
that's awesome, dude. I wish I would have had that experience. I never got to have that. Now society frowns on a 42-year-old man wanting to fuck a 14-year-old. Why would you frown upon that? I don't even want to do that. Like a woman my age is like right on track for me.
That was good recovery right there.
It was.
Yeah, that's pretty. And it was in a trailer park. I think it was her grandma's trailer, and I honestly,
my abuela is out of the house right now, seeing my tia and tio, because I assume y'all spoke Spanish.
And I think she was like had just broken up with her boyfriend that she like really liked.
Nice.
And then
so
I think they got
needed the dick.
I think they got back together after that or something.
You were an angel to her that one time.
I guess so.
You gave her a halo of jizz. God damn, dude, that's cool. That's a good story. That's a good way to end on. Do you have anything else you want to add? Taco Sandwich.
Yeah, the podcast that me and Rafa have is called Taco Sandwich.
Do you post any clips on Instagram?
I need to make. TikTok? I haven't made any. There's a Facebook. You go to Facebook and you go like the page and.
Is it Angel Rodriguez?
No, there's an actual Facebook for the podcast.
Oh, the taco sandwich.
Yeah.
Okay, I will follow that. I did not know that. Yeah. Follow that and check out Angel doing stand up around Lubbock at definitely at the Lantern open mic. And you get booked on shows sometimes. I just put you on a show.
Yeah, thanks, man. That was cool.
No, it was a rad show. I was expecting. We didn't really talk about how long. I was like, oh shit, he could have done like a longer set. I think he only did like 5 minutes.
Oh no, I think I cut myself off because
I didn't even like you.
Yeah, I wasn't happy with my set that night, but
I thought happens. You did fine. But that's why we do this. We get better at it and fucking stand up. Support local stand up and podcasts. Thank you, Angel.